Hi. Pivot tables in Excel are used to calculate, summarize, and analyze data. I find it magical for a simple reason that it doesn't use any formula whatsoever. It doesn't need any understanding of logic, and it is simply done by a few clicks, and it's really fast. It can answer all the questions that you may like to get a summary from a data, such as who sold what, which, how much, where, when, and how. And you can get all the answers together just by a few clicks. Let us take a look. So, let's start creating pivot tables. All right, let's take a look at the table first. We have a table on surgeries data where we have dates of surgery, then specialist who carried out the operation, the hospital, and it's a chain of different hospitals, and number of operations performed and revenue generated in lakhs. Now, we would like to get summary reports out of these tables. Let us see how we can get these. For example, the first one is month wise and specialist wise number of operations performed. That means we want to add up the number of operations, but we want to add them up month wise and also specialist wise. Okay. Anyway, so let's begin with creating pivot table. In order to create pivot table, just click anywhere inside the table. Okay, and select the table, control plus A. So table is selected and go on to insert and click pivot table. You will get a small window here and it says table stroke range. Because we had pre-selected the table, it is already picked up the table. Usually the reports will be made on different sheet. So the default option here is new worksheet. If you wanted it on the same worksheet, you could click existing worksheet. We'll do it later, not now. We'll do it with the new worksheet. So all we have done is just we have clicked on insert and pivot table. That's it. And click OK. Now we see two things here. One, on the left side, what you can see here, this particular thing is the area in which our report would appear. Okay. And what you see on the right side, what you see on the right side here is pivot table fields. Fields means what? It is the columns. Obviously, the data is column wise in a table, and you're going to choose the columns which you want on the table. What we wanted was uh, date wise the number of operations performed. So we wanted to get the sum of that and a summary report of total number of operations. We wanted it date wise. So how do we do it? So let me explain this part to you first. On the left here, what you are seeing here are all the fields or the column headings like date, specialist, hospital, number of operations, and revenue in lakhs. Now these we can add in any one of these four columns. Okay, as you can four boxes you can say. The first one is filters. We'll come to it later. It says columns. That means if you drag any field here, it would become a column heading for your report. Then rows, if you pick up anything over here, if you drop anything over here, it would become your row heading. Okay. So, and last one is showing us sum sign, sum of values. Obviously, this is a place where we are going to put number of operations and it is going to summarize means get the total of number of operations. We'll see it. It just few clicks. Okay. All right. First, let me take this and add it in rows. Okay. You can see on the left here already it has added ENT, eye, heart, and skin. So all specialist categories have been added as row headings and we want the data on the right side. What do we want? We want the sum of number of operations performed by this. That's all. So you could drop this into the last one where we get the sum. Okay, number of operations. That's it, isn't it? Just with two clicks, We have already got the sum of number of operations performed by different specialists, right? Now, we wanted it date wise. So all you need to do is you need to put date into column block where it will make the column heading. So I'm picking up date and putting it in column block, right? So it has pretty much made very easily January, February, March, and it has also added a grand total. So in short, we have already got a wonderful report generated just by 3 clicks or 3 drag and drop. That's all. Okay. So we can later on beautify it. It's not difficult. We can just reduce this. Okay. So it says Jan so much, Feb so much, March so much, and grand total. So we have already created a first pivot table. As I suggested earlier, that you can change the report just like that. For example, if you didn't want the specialists as row headings, but you wanted them as column headings, you could pretty much change it, shift the specialist from here to the columns. Now they have gone to the columns. And now get the other things. For example, months field, we get it in rows, right? So and this date thing we don't want, so we can just remove it. We don't want date, so we got months. And here is a wonderful report, January, February, March, and you can see all specialist wise. Incidentally, it gives here column label. Okay, what is showing in the column? It is showing the specialist. Okay, it is possible to double click on this and give your own heading. Okay, I'm going to type specialist. Okay, specialist. All right. So that has become the heading, and I'll just format it a bit so that it looks neat, right? And I could also format these figures to put it in the center. So I'll just center align them. And now here, right? I could even format this and put it in center. All right. So now it looks pretty neat. Okay. So what is it on the top left? What it is showing is the sum of number of operations. That means the numbers what we indicate here is the total number of operations performed. When? In January, so much, in February, so much, and in March, so much. So here is your beautiful report generated for the operations performed month-wise and specialist-wise, right? We will soon learn more about it. All right, let us create one more report afresh just for practice. So I'm going to go back to my pivot table. Okay, sorry, I'm going to go to the original table, click on insert and pivot table, and it is automatically going to take me on new sheet. That's it. Let me now get it hospital wise. So I just drag and put hospitals in rows, right? And I want to know the revenue performed. So I will just get the addition by putting the revenue in lakhs in the values box. And here automatically I have got Apollo Fortis NH and they have generated so much revenue. Okay. So let me just correct it a bit. I'll just put it sum of doesn't look very nice, so it's not required for the heading. I'm just going to delete it. So it would show revenue in lakhs. Okay, but the name already exists. So what I will do a trick over here, I'll just put one space. Okay, so that looks different because revenue in lakhs was already a column heading, and this is what we have got. I'm going to put it center line. Sorry, let me do it for all. All right. So here is my report, which is showing revenue generated in lakhs in 3 different hospitals. Let us say we wanted the breakup specialist wise. So now where is this disappeared? because we have clicked somewhere outside, it doesn't show that on the right where you could choose the column. So just click anywhere inside the pivot table and you would see all these things here, right? All right, now we want it specialist wise and hospital wise revenue generated. So I'm just going to take specialist and put it as column headings. That's it. So we have got, let me just correct it so that it will look better. I'll just put the column label heading as specialist, right? And I can adjust this. Yes. So we have got these things: Apollo, Fortis, NH, and ENT, and eye, and heart specialist, and skin specialist, and the what have we got? This is the revenue generated in lakhs. So these are the figures in lakhs. So it has got grand total here and it has got grand total here. Probably it is not a nice way to do. It is very effective, believe me. So let us see how we can improvise this. Let us see how we can improvise this design. Okay, what are we going to do? We are going to improvise the design of this table. So let us go anywhere inside the table, and here you will find here on right side pivot table analyze and the design. So I'm clicking on design and we will see, we will go to the layout part. There are four things in it: subtotals, grand totals, report layout, and blank rows. We are going to take a look at it one by one. Okay. First, let us take a look at grand totals, because we can see already grand totals over here appearing two times. So click on this and it's pretty easy. Off for rows and columns. Suppose we are not interested in grand total, just click on this and you will find a very neatly done table which simply indicates the revenue generated. Okay. If you want to add them up only for hospitals, then you could pretty much go inside the table again anywhere and go to design and come to grand total. But now I'm going to choose it for on for rows only. So here I got grand total on for rows, right? So I could pretty much play around this and put on for columns only and they would appear here. So likewise, we got a wonderful report generated which is showing grand totals. Okay. Now there is one more feature available which says report layout. Okay. Now layout will show in compact form or outline form or tabular form. I'll just click on the tabular form and you will find this is in tabular form now. Probably you won't notice anything, any change over here. Let us take one more field. Let me add dates also, and then let me add dates also here in rows, and let's see how it looks. Yes. So now this is the tabular form. You can see here hospitals are shown. So for Apollo hospitals, Jan, Feb, and March months have got added, right? So dates also have come, but we will remove these dates because there are two fields. So I'm just going to remove the dates. So right, this is pretty nice, right? So Apollo Hospital, Jan, Feb, March, and specialist wise number of operations performed are shown, and the Apollo total is shown over here, right? So this is what is meant by subtotal. Okay. So why I did that? For two reasons. Firstly, to explain the subtotal. So now it says do not show subtotals. So I'm removing it. You'll find the subtotals are gone. Let me just add it to show you. Show subtotals at the bottom of the group. Show subtotals at the top of the group. So I'm clicking top. So you will find Apollo total is shown over here, right? And show total subtotals at the bottom. I think bottom has got selected. Show subtotals at top of the group. All right, I think it's selecting over here because grouping is by hospital. So we got Apollo total shown over here and Fortis total shown over here and so on. So it's a wonderful report, and the grand total at the end. So this way you would get the subtotals, right? Now report layout, what I had said is show in tabular form. This is tabular form. Let us look at the other form. We'll put it in compact form. Okay. That means only Apollo is shown over here. We selected the subtotals on top. So therefore it showed the subtotals on top. And then month-wise breakup it is showing Jan, Feb, and March. Okay. So what are these blanks here? Probably ENT didn't perform any operation during Jan, Feb, and March. Okay. All right. So 40 totals are shown over here. So 57 total, and accordingly, it is showing all of them. Nice, isn't it? So let us take a look at other layout. We have seen compact form and we have seen the tabular form. Let us see outline form. Okay. So outline form is also very nice. It's your choice what you want to do, right? Okay, so this is the outline form where heading is shown over here, months are shown here, and likewise the data is shown on the right. So like this, you can choose any of these. And if the report is running for a long, we can repeat all item labels. Okay, for what are the items? Let us click on this and you will see. Okay, for example, in a table, we might like to have Apollo, Apollo, Apollo here. That means it shows that this line is for Apollo. I don't like it because it looks neater the other way around. Okay, but if you want, you could add it. That's what I have just shown. It's very easy to select from here. Okay, do not repeat item labels. I am removing it, so that's gone, and we got back to the original one. Now, if we want to, this is looking clustered because the things are finishing over here and changing for the new hospital, right? So what do we do? We can add blank rows. Okay, so we can click on this, insert blank line after each item. So I'm just clicking it, and you will find that this row, which is blank, has been added after Apollo Hospital is completed, right? Similarly, a blank line is added after Fortis, and blank line is added after NH. So this looks a little bit better, right? So this is how we can do the design part of it. Let us see some more design part of it. Okay. So here we have pivot table style options. Okay. Column headers are required. If you don't want, we can remove it, but it doesn't make sense. I'll just show it to you and get it back to there again. So column headers have become not so nice to see. It is better to have bold and clear. Okay, same way row headers also can become a normal, but I would prefer to have them so it looks bold, right? We can have banded rows. So if we click on banded rows, you'll find bands. Probably sometimes the data is clustered and it is easier to read like that. It's your choice. You can also have banded columns. So I'm removing banded rows and click on banded columns. So alternately, the columns would be banded, right? All right, I'm removing it. And now here are ready-made pivot table styles. You could choose any one, right? So it will give you with some color. I'm chosen with this or this or this or this, right? So you can pretty much select some other things. Okay, here is another design. There is nothing much to do. Just choose a design and click on it, and you've got a beautiful report generated in few clicks. Okay. So how much time did it take actually? I have taken time to explain one by one, but for creating, you could pretty much do it in under 10 seconds. That's it. And yes, if you find this useful, click the like. If you wish to catch several such videos, hit subscribe. For notifications, ring the bell and share this so that others too can watch. Bye.